What is up, YouTube? And today we're going to be talking all about Plume and her banner, if she's worth going for, and I'll even show you guys my build for her for PvE, and also the lattice investment that you want into her. So basically, Plume's been out for less than a day as of recording this, but you can tell from my channel that I've been testing her out a lot. I have multiple videos on her already in a lot of PvE content, and I've been testing her behind the scenes and even in PvP. And I will say, without a doubt, this is one of the best, if not the best, character in Etheria Restart. Her S3 is just super broken, right? You have the AoE Dispel that hits multiple times, so it works with Revelation in PvP. You can also put defense down. You also put weakness, which is a unique debuff that makes him do less damage. You also have this passive, which will make it so that you're stacking your Cursed Quill, which will make the enemy take more damage and also reduce their speed. You're also going to get turn meter pushed after every enemy turn, so you have Strive proccing every time an enemy takes a turn, which also stacks with Strive if you get hit, which is crazy. And then you have this AoE S1, which applies Cursed Quill, your unique debuff to everyone. This can't be actually dispelled or transferred from like Rahu, and as we talked about earlier, this just makes you do more damage to the targets with Cursed Quill, and also they get reduced speed. So just a really overloaded kit. Honestly, in my opinion, especially if we're talking about PvP, even if she didn't have the defense down on her S3, she would still be top tier for sure in PvP. But, this defense down makes her just really oppressive in CC cleave playstyles, and even in bruiser playstyles as well, which also makes her very good in PvE content. Definitely a character I recommend going for. There currently is an event that if you pull for dupes for her, you can actually get lattice that is designed for her and some other materials. I don't really think it's worth it because she's a support, so you don't really need that much investment into her. You don't really need the dupes because, you don't really care about the stats. She doesn't really do damage, but if you want to do it, it's up to you. Now, let's actually just talk about her setup and the build that I found the most success with her. So you're going to see right away, my Plume is maxed out because that is how OP she is in my opinion, or how strong she is. It's mostly because of the fact that she just does everything as a support besides heal, and also because her nodes, her like level 5 nodes, just give you really strong benefits, and it just really makes you want to max her out. Honestly, it's not really a great design because it kind of forces you to eventually max her skills out, but her S1 giving you extra speed reduction at level 5 makes it so that you can lap bosses and also enemies in PvP a lot easier. Level 3 is also very good because you get that damage boost. Also in S1, you're getting 15 speed for free, so it's very, very good for PvP. Her S2 is also amazing because you're just getting extra turn meter push, and you're also making it so that Cursed Quill applies at 100% chance when you land a different debuff from anyone else, which is insane. Then your S3, of course, increased chance to dispel, increased weakness duration, which is going to be very good in longer fights in like Rengokutsu, and also the extra chance to apply defense and weakness. Honestly, level 2, 3, and 4 don't really matter too much. The biggest thing is just that skill cooldown reduction. If you get the skill cooldown reduction and you have her fast enough, you can actually just keep the defense down and weakness on the boss almost permanently, pretty much permanently if you have Jackal Guard on her. So extremely, extremely powerful character, really, really lattice hungry in the fact that you get a lot of bang for your buck with your lattice, but not really required, I would say. So a lot of the teams I tested, I didn't really have too much lattice investment into her. For speed teams, what I actually did, and what I actually recommend if you're using her for speed teams, is maxing your S1 only, and then getting her S3 to level 2. This gives you the maximum amount of speed. You can apply your Cursed Quill very, very often. You stop the boss from taking a lot of turns, and then your extra dispel chance is going to be very good for stuff like Terramaton and Aurora, and anything with immunity such as Chloros, right? Now, for her S3 lattice, I think the level 2 is very, very nice, but not required. It just gives you an extra chance to dispel the immunity off the boss. The chance to apply defense down and weakness, even though it is nice, you don't really need it because just having the dispel chance is enough on bosses with immunity. And if they don't have immunity, you're going to be landing your defense down and weakness pretty much almost all the time anyways. So that's pretty much what I think about her lattice. For slower teams, instead of running 5-1 like 2 or 5-1-1, you're going to want to max her S3 because the extra skill cooldown reduction is going to be very important in longer fights, such as slower Rengo teams, such as slower Chloros teams, and stuff like that. So the lattice really comes down to what type of team you want to run with her. For late game players, you can probably get away with just level 5 and S1. And for early game players, maxing your S3 is going to be a little bit more important, but then you will eventually want to max your S1 eventually, or at least get some points into it, because the boosts here are very nice as well, because it will make you ramp your damage up over time. Now for her S2, this is mostly going to be for PvP, I'd say. Even though the turn meter push is nice, especially the increase on it, you're still getting turn meter pushed regardless, and it's not going to make or break your teams for PvE content. And the extra Curse Quill application chance, even though it's cool, not really required, right? So because of that, I don't really think it's really required at all for PvE content. You're mostly going to be looking at S1 and S3, and it really depends on what type of team you want to build. Now, in terms of her modules and her shell. So basically, you want to make her as fast as you can, and even though you might be thinking, oh my god, this guy's a whale, he has like 324 speed on Plume, which isn't that fast, but a lot of newer players might think that it's impossible. If you actually look at my gear, because her base speed is the highest in the game, and if you max your S1, you're getting 15 speed, you're going to see that you're able to get really high speeds with not even the best gear. You can see I have a lot of blue gear, some green gear as well, and then one purple gear. So on average, my gear is basically all +9 speed, and I'm at 324 speed. That's pretty insane, and that's mostly because her base speed is just ridiculously high. Now, of course, I do have Swift Smites slotted in. You will want Swift Smite or Swift Raid to give you that extra speed boost, but just keep in mind, you just want to make her as fast as possible, because you do want to cycle very quickly to apply your Curse Quill and to land your debuffs and keep your debuffs on the boss. Now, in terms of your shell, Jackal Guard is going to be good only if you have your S3 maxed. If you have your S3 maxed and you have the extra cooldown reduction, it's very nice because you can actually, like I said earlier, keep it on the boss permanently. If you don't have if you don't have S3 maxed, you're going to want to run her on a Codex setup. And this is because you can actually back-to-back S3, and then you'll be able to, have 3 turns, even 4 turns of defense down on the boss if you can lap fast enough. Like I said, the Codex setup is mostly for speed teams, and in that case, you're probably maxing your S1 first. If you're running a slower team and you have your S3 max first, then Jackal Guard is going to be really good, and honestly just probably the best shell for her, because she also lacks a speed buff for your team. So yeah, that's pretty much it for Plume. She's an amazing character. She's going to be extremely powerful in a tons of areas of content. I'll even show you guys a Rengokutsu run in a free-to-play team, which I'll showcase the builds and the guide for later on, probably tomorrow or later on today, and you're going to see why she is so damn good. So I'll show you guys the Rengokutsu run. I'm going to make the full guide on this team a little bit later today or even tomorrow, but it'll be up for sure, so don't worry. In fact, it might already be scheduled to release in a video very soon, so you can keep your eyes out for that. But I'll just show you guys the run and why she's so good here. Basically, her weakness debuff from her S3 makes it so that you don't override Vice's attack down with Viper. So you have 2 ways to make the boss do less damage. And the Curse Quill just makes you whap super fast on the boss and just do way more damage with it, especially because she has the defense down, which Viper doesn't have. So basically makes the run twice as fast. And even if you're running double Dark Affinity characters, you have Sonya to res and keep you alive. And you can even drop your Diting for something like a Rosa or Giada or even Chloros, like something like, where is it? I don't even have them built, which is why they're all the way down here. But you can run like, Chloros, you can run Giada, you can probably honestly run Leanne as well, I'm not even kidding, and even like Rosa, and that way you'll have 4 different affinities, and it should work as well. But I'll show you guys the run, full guide coming out later today, and thank you for watching.
한매 크리미생 마침내